Hello and a very warm welcome to the roads of France, where the SISU Tour rolls into Stage 4, the Three Musketeers. 38 kilometres of racing that throws every grade onto the same tarmac at once, all of them out there on your screen together, though it's the battle for Category C that we'll be living and breathing with you today. And there it is! The flag is down, the rollout is done, and they are racing on the roads of France. So before the tarmac starts asking hard questions, Chloe, where's your money going in this Category C fight?
On a course this flat, Simon, the watts per kilo vanity numbers barely matter. It's raw watts that do the talking. Rctfan's my headliner, a big engine, a monster sprint, a Stage 2 win already banked. Wiese brings the most raw horsepower in the field to drag these coastal flats. And keep Campbell honest, that's a heavy hitter if it comes down to a gallop. And to read the suffering, keep an eye on the live Limit Leaderboard. Each rider gets a full-width heart bar across the top, how near they are to a career-best cardiac effort. Below it, a flame on the left for their systemic limit right now, a lightning bolt on the right for closeness to a power best. Full and green means cruising. Drained and flashing means someone's rewriting what they're capable of.
One quick note before we dive in. A few wheels out there aren't on our official start sheet, so they won't feature in our call or on the leaderboard. Keep your eyes on the names that count. Now, let's go racing! And we are straight into it on the France roads. The whole field still packed tight past the Caspat pens, and already it's O'Neill up among the front wheels, leaning on the pedals, putting in an early shift as they stream toward the sprinter banner.
And here's a number that leaps off the screen, Simon. Kelley's suddenly pouring out well over 400 watts, better than double.
Remember, the sprint segments are coming. The field will pick up the pace, and you need to follow.
And a little word of wisdom crackling through to Poole there, his director reminding him the sprint banners are looming and the pace is about to lift, so stay locked on those wheels. And right on cue, the bunch is stretching over this small rise. It's Cardwell scrambling now, fighting tooth and nail to hold contact as the elastic starts to twang.
And it's telling that my headliner's already in the thick of it, Simon. Rctfan putting out north of 360 through the sprint to Critère. That flame steadily ticking down as the pack winds up. He's covering these early moves rather than hiding from them. And that's exactly what a favorite has to do on a day like this.
And that radio warning is looking well-timed because Poole is drifting backwards through the bunch on the Dostan drag, sliding towards the back door just as the road tips up, grinding away just to keep the last wheels in sight. Heed the boss, Poole. This is precisely the moment he told you not to lose.
And look at Whitaker digging deep back there, Simon. A real surge on the drag. Her flame already 4/5 gone and the lightning close behind. She is emptying the tank to claw back onto those wheels rather than let this first little climb quietly shell her out the back.
And there are the first real fireworks of the day. Kelley, that lightning bolt has flashed empty. The man who lit the fuse early has just gone and set the best sustained power of his life on the Dostan drag. He is rewriting his own ceiling right in front of us, and his flame is nearly gone with it. A stunning, reckless effort. And now it is O'Neill lighting up the road, the sharpest acceleration we have seen all race, stamping on the pedals over the aqueduct rise and stretching the front of this bunch right out toward breaking point.
It's turning into a proper scrap up front, Simon, and this is exactly where Rctfan wants it. Don't forget, he rolls into today off the...
Okay, good job hanging onto the group, but the job is not done yet. Keep the wheel.
And you can almost hear the relief in that radio call. Poole has clung on and hauled himself properly back into the group, the director telling him good job, but the work is far from done. Keep that wheel. He fought the back door shut on the aqueduct rise, and for now he's exactly where he needs to be, tucked in, sheltered and hanging tough.
Yeah, nah, gotta love the chat, gang. Be Braves just typed Big Poole up on your screen there, and Struth, I've got no idea what the bloke means by it. Big engine? Big weekend? Or big in the way a fella might brag about down at the change rooms? I'll let you lot fill that one in yourselves. Whatever he's on about, Poole's hanging off the back of that bunch like a koala to a gum tree. So let's hope Big Poole turns into big legs by the time those sprint banners roll around.
And the pace refuses to let up even on this plunge toward the coast. Rctfan still hammering a big gear where most riders would happily freewheel and catch their breath. The bunch is stringing out into single file with the effort, and that is very bad news for anyone already clinging on at the very back.
And here's the price of that back of the bunch fight, Simon. Look at Poole. His heart bar and his lightning have both flashed to empty at once. He is at a cardiac effort he simply hasn't touched in months and setting the best sustained power of his life just to cling to the tail of this group. But the elastic is stretching and he's in real danger of coming off the back.
And that danger Chloe flagged has become cold, hard reality. Poole has lost the wheel. The back of the group has simply ridden away from him on the road to the coast, and now he's stranded in no man's land, head down, chasing for all he is worth to try and haul himself back on before that gap sets like concrete.
And Poole has found himself company in that chase, Simon. Mann is right there with him, and he is absolutely buried in the effort, pushing north of 400 watts on these coastal flats, better than half again what he could hold all day. If those two can start sharing the load, that front group might not be gone just yet.
And that gamble is paying off, Chloe. The chase has clawed the group right back. Poole and Mann have buried themselves the length of these coastal flats, and you can see the gap tumbling away to nothing. They are latching back onto the tail of the bunch as we speak. A magnificent effort to undo the damage, but you have to wonder what it's cost the legs.
And there's no respite offered here, Simon. Galyon is the one lifting it now, a real surge along the coastal flats just as the road starts pointing toward the aqueduct climb. The whole group concertinas with it, and for anyone who's only just clawed their way back on with an empty tank, this is the cruelest possible moment for the pace to jump.
Yeah, righto, cop this from back down the road. Floyd, the best part of a minute adrift in a little group of his own, has just torn the roof clean off. Better than 430 watts, straight past what the numbers reckoned he had left, flame flash and empty. He's absolutely cactus, but struth, the old boy's still swinging. Fair dinkum effort for a fella that far out of the picture.
And the Aqueduct Com is doing precisely what Chloe promised, detonating this group. Up the road, it's Campbell going clean past his own ceiling, the best sustained power he has ever laid down, punching up that 2% kick and tearing the bunch to ribbons behind him. This is where the race gets torn in half.
And there's the confirmation, Simon. Poole has been shelled out the back over the top of that climb. His heart bar is pegged full and flashing, an all-out cardiac effort that has finally hollowed him out. And he simply had no answer when the KOM bit hardest. Now he tips onto the descent alone and dropped, with only the faint hope that somebody up ahead cracks too.
And Chloe, that faint hope has just taken shape. Poole is no longer alone. He's been joined by Cassidy out on the pavé flats. Another rider spat from that KOM split. And already the two of them are swinging turns, heads down, pooling whatever's left to try and bridge back to the group up the road. A bit of company changes everything out here.
And here's the hard arithmetic they're up against, Simon. Two riders, both already deep in the red, trying to bridge across flat, draftable roads. And that's just about the worst terrain for it, because the bigger group ahead can share the work between far more legs. Cassidy is no great diesel, and neither man has much left in the bars to burn. Unless that rolling sector ahead slows the leaders right down, this is a very tall order indeed.
And there it is! Chloe called it to the letter! Cassidy has sat up, decided the group ahead is simply gone, and thrown in the towel on the bridge, freewheeling now to wait for the chase group coming up behind. But Poole will have none of it. He presses on alone, still stubbornly convinced he can drag that front group back.
Oh, there's no lonelier spot in all of bike racing than solo in no man's land, gang. Just you, the wind, and your own daft decisions for company. Tell ya, I did some of my best thinking out there over the years, and every last thought was the same one. Why on earth didn't I just sit in?
He really should have listened to you there, Robbo, but you've got to admire the sheer stubbornness of it. Meanwhile, up front, this is shaping up beautifully for the strong men. Rctfan and the Diesels rolling a steady tempo through the Ballon approach. And there's a mountain of flats still to come, where an organized group will outdrag a lone rider every day of the week. For Poole, the sums only get harder. His one prayer is that the rolling drag ahead makes them hesitate.
Yeah, and speaking of those diesels up front, word in the paddock is Wiese's been on the beetroot juice before his big efforts. Sounds like witchcraft, I know, but there's proper science to it. The nitrates convert to nitric oxide, opens up the blood vessels and drops the oxygen cost of every single pedal stroke. Saying what's for a touch less suffering and for a big unit grinding out these flats, that's a genuine edge.
And Poole is not done. Nowhere near it. He's popped the featherweight power up right here on the rise to the ridge and thrown down absolutely everything left in the locker, going clean past his own power ceiling once again. The gap to that group is out around 20 seconds, and he is emptying himself utterly to start hacking into it. You simply cannot fault the heart on this man.
Yeah, and while all eyes are on that chase, spare a thought for the very front of the race. Rctfan is absolutely on fire up there. Better than 500 watts on the ridge descent, heart bar pegged and flashing at a career high. He's redlining to keep that lead group humming, fair dinkum putting the whole race to the sword. That's your favourite doing favourite things, Doc.
And he is so nearly there, Simon. Look at Poole, still driving past his own power ceiling, heart bar deep in the red, but that gap has crumbled from 20 seconds down to just a handful. After all these kilometers alone in the wind, the group in front is right there in his sights on less intestine, and he is reeling them in meter by agonizing meter.
And he's done it! Poole has made the catch! After the better part of 10 minutes out there largely alone in the wind, hurling himself past his own limits time and time again, he has clawed his way back onto that group on Lee's intestines. An absolutely heroic ride. Take a bow, Poole, because that is bloody-minded refusal to quit at its very finest.
And now comes the reward, Simon. Poole can finally sit in and grab a breather in that group. But look closely. His heart bar is still pinned right at the ceiling, flashing away even as he soft pedals. That's just how deep he went to get here. The echo of that chase is still ringing through him, and it'll take a good while on this flat to bring it back down.
And there's been a real flurry in Poole's group while our backs were turned. Mann had a proper dig for that sprint banner, jumping clear off the front to grab it, but the group has just hauled him straight back into the fold. He swings back in among them, and this little bunch draws itself together again with everyone present and accounted for. And a message flashes up on screen from Mann to Poole. We have to push! He can see the danger plainly. That big group behind is closing in, and Mann knows this little band has to commit right now. They've given up all hope of the leaders and turned every ounce of fire to defence, keeping those chasers at bay. And Poole is answering the call on the drag, even with his heart bar still stubbornly refusing to drop off the ceiling.
And this is textbook stuff now from Poole's little group, Simon. Just 4 riders left, but a smooth, disciplined rotation. Each one rolling through and taking a short, sharp turn before swinging off. Nobody's a passenger. Their whole race has narrowed to one single question. Can this committed handful hold off that bigger group grinding away behind them? Sharing the load evenly is the only way they keep that door shut.
And now it's Mann paying the toll, Chloe. His heart bar has climbed all the way to the ceiling and started to flash. The very man who demanded they push is now feeling every last watt of it. He's ducked into the wheels for a breather, but there's no hiding what this rearguard action is costing them as the long marina run-in begins to unwind toward the line. And the tension is really racking up on this marina run-in, Chloe. Poole's quartet still committed, still rolling through, but that chase group behind has been quietly nibbling into the buffer, down now to somewhere around 40 seconds and creeping closer. With the finish drawing near, it becomes a straight test of nerve. Can 4 tiring riders hold what they've got all the way to the flag?
And that's all she wrote up front, Simon. Rctfan has taken it. He's just powered across the sprinter banner with an absolute monster of a kick to win by a country mile. Not a soul anywhere near him. Fair dinkum dominant ride from the favourite. He backed himself and he's romped home. Next man over the line is O'Neill, but he's a good 38 seconds back down the road. Rctfan wins it and he wins it easy.
And here comes Poole's group off the last of the drag, tipping onto the finishing straight with the sprinter banner up ahead in the distance. They've kept the chasers at bay, and now it's a sprint amongst themselves for the honour of leading this little band home. They're all eyeing each other, nobody wanting to lead it out. And there goes Kronborg! The B-grade rider is first to commit. A long, sustained drive off the front, winding it up from distance and rising open a gap. And Kronborg keeps on driving, stretching that advantage out further still. The B-grade rider has rolled the dice on the long, brave effort, and he's making it pay, easing clear of the group with every pedal stroke. Behind him, it's pure cat and mouse, the other three sitting up, glancing across at one another, each one refusing point blank to be the first to jump and tow the rest up to him. Nobody wants to lead it out, nobody wants to be the launch pad, and all the while Kronborg's gap is only growing. Someone has to go, and go soon, or this one is gone.
And there it is! They've both gone at once, but it's RJ with the jump. RJ the one in front as they burst clear of the group, and Poole is going to have to come around him the hard way.
Poole's forced his way past RJ, and now he hunts down Kronborg, closing, and he's past him, past the B-grade man, everything left out on the road, heart bar screaming. Poole drives for the banner, and Poole takes it across the line first, leading his group home. What an absolute warrior!
Well, what a way to bring the curtain down on stage 4. Rctfan takes it in utterly commanding fashion, the strongest man on the day and a thoroughly deserving Category C winner. But the story that'll stay with me, Chloe, is Poole. Dropped, buried, seemingly gone for all money, and yet he simply refused to accept it, clawing his way back not once but twice, and then leading his little group over the line at the death. He didn't win the race, but by heaven he won the afternoon.
And the numbers back you to the hilt, Simon. Rctfan won it exactly as I called it before the flag. On a course this flat, raw watts do the talking, and nobody in Category C had more. But Poole, his heart bar sat pinned at the ceiling for great swaths of this race, going past his own limits again and again. A ride run on pure stubbornness long after the data swore he was finished. That's the beauty of this sport. From all of us here in the booth, thank you for joining us on the roads of France. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you next time.